I am the law.
Greatest legal mind I ever knew.
Llama to the truth. Llama to the truth. To the truth. To the truth. To boot.
Welcome to the Llama Lawyer, to boot to boot. I am Magnum Mills, and I'm not a lawyer or a llama. Today I'll just be handling the hosting duties for the actual Llama Lawyer, Jamie G, the University of American Samoa Law School alumni, who's not scared of getting wet and woolly. Jamie G, how's it going?
It is great. I am fresh off a Phish run. The summer tour 2024 has been fantastic. Excited to be here. Excited to talk about my journeys out there representing and enjoying God's gift to us. And that's live Phish, man. It's incredible. They're firing on all cylinders. Can't wait to break down the Mohegan Sun run.
Oh, and man, and he can't even undersell the parking lot culture. I'm a big tailgate guy, and I feel like the parking lot at a Phish show, real good time. I've had good times at a NASCAR tailgate, but I feel like a Phish show would take it up another notch. And thank you for taking it up a notch with the Llama Lawyer, presented by Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. We're on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff, same place on the web. We keep it nice and easy to remember so you can concentrate on those Phish jams. FLAPS, follow, like, and please subscribe. All we ask, if you had fun, hit that thumb, keep it groovy, baby. Jamie G, we know that you're a pretty big Phish fan, right? Because you're sitting here, you're trying to do a Phish thing. But just how big of a fan are you? I mean, there's probably people that have been to what, like 200 straight shows or something crazy. Like, where are you on the kind of like the scale of Phish fandom for like, I own a couple CDs to I have a restraining order against me by the band?
Yeah, no, we're not to restraining orders yet, but I'm a big fan. I love the band. They're my favorite band ever. I listen to them every day, right, and listen to different shows, whether it's shows I've been at or just checking out different eras of them because they've evolved and changed throughout the years, and it's different. And that's one of the cool things about them is every time you listen, every time you go, it's different, and it's for me still just as exciting, still just as awesome. So big fan. Been a fan since the '90s. Unfortunately, the way my life unfolded, getting a law degree and all, and going out there and defending the people, life got in the way of me going to a lot of shows earlier on in the late '90s, early 2000s. But I gotta say, man, I've come in a big way and been able to see a bunch of shows over the years. In the last couple of years, I've been to a lot and some pretty big ones too. I mean, the Earth Day show with the whale at Madison Square Garden, incredible. That run, which was a makeup run from COVID, New Year's was awesome. Three New Year's shows in a row with the Gamehenge set this past year. So a lot of big shows. Each one is just such an experience, man. I mean, it really is. It's just awesome. And I love it more today than I did yesterday. And you got to say, man, there's something magical about that.
And they've definitely made it. I don't know if it's as big of a flex as it once was, but they have their own channel on Sirius XM. Like you can literally jam Phish out 24/7. They have their own app, right? Is that how you
Yeah.
consume some of the stuff, that kind of thing? And that's really cool that they offer a way to kind of interact directly with the bands. I'm old enough to remember back in the day, you would get like music magazines in the back, there'd be classifieds, and you trade tapes of live shows. And they were
Yeah.
audio cassette tapes, and you would have like if you had
Yeah.
one show that no one else had, that was cool because then you could trade it to someone else who had a show you didn't have, and you just like buy blank tapes and send them to people, and it was kind of wild. And it worked. It
Yep.
was this really kind of like cool underground system, and I think it's awesome that Phish has kind of taken that, to the next level and brought kind of fandom into the, the next century and that kind of thing, and really embraced it. You're the Llama Lawyer, right? And this came out Llama came out the early '90s, and here they
Yeah.
are 30 years later, and how many renditions have they done? But they're all interesting in their own way and kind of unique. So that's all about the experience.
It's all about the experience. And, I've been fortunate enough to catch a really, really fast llama, which is how I want my llama. I want it fast, dude, just absolute ripper. But I've also caught the slow llama, and the slow llama is very cool, man. Super funky, super, like heavy bass, like way slowed down. Very, very cool. Covered in funk all the way. Seen it done both ways. Being the llama lawyer, that's a privilege that I have.
That's it, man. I really do actually really enjoy Llama. That's one of my more favorite Phish tracks. I've used it for a couple things. I like the upbeat nature of it. I'd be curious as to what a slow llama is, but we'll save that for another day. Also, probably might be a sex move. I don't know. I don't want to look it up. How about the venue, man? You're talking about the Mohegan Sun up there in the Northeast. What did you think? General overall thoughts? I don't know if you want to compare it to anything else or whatever. Just take us away on the venue, man. How did it work?
Yeah, first of all, overall, it was great. I'll kind of grade it at the end. I'd like to start. There was good and bad, like there is with most things. Let's just get a couple of the bad things out of the way right away. If you've never been to Mohegan Sun, it's located in a casino in the Mystic, Connecticut area of Connecticut. It's a kind of a strange area. There's not a ton there. It's mostly known for its Navy submarine presence. You're close to Rhode Island in the water, though. There is some stuff. It's kind of a cool area, but there's just kind of like these two casinos, the smaller one, Foxwoods, and then Mohegan Sun, and then not a whole lot else there. So it's a weird scene. It's not very Phish-esque. There's no lot. Mills mentioned one of the coolest things and what a lot of people enjoy about kind of before the show is the shakedown, right? Which is the lot. There's vendors all over the place, a lot of fans. That's a real big part of the overall experience. There was no vendors here because it's all done in a casino, and it's not really happening in the parking lots and stuff like that. So for many people, they didn't go to this because of that. So that's missing. It's definitely a negative. The other thing is the entry point into the venue from the casino. There's only one. This created just a super unnecessary logjam, both going in and out. Getting out sucked a lot just from the venue into the casino was pretty brutal. One major pet peeve of mine was they don't allow you to bring in any water, which is absolutely bullshit. It's just crazy, dude. The water inside the venue, then you have to buy water. It's Dasani, which blows. Then on top of that, they take your bottle cap. Like seriously, dude, it was so nuts that by night two, literally everyone was smuggling in bottle caps. Yours truly may or may not have been involved in such smuggling, but it's like, why can't we have our bottle caps? It was absolutely
That's actually a
ridiculous.
law thing. I've seen that in other places, especially when they have the screw top beers. They'll take the top away, which eliminates the entire point of the screw top beer. Same thing for
Right.
bottles of water. I've seen that at least in Pennsylvania. I'm guessing it's a state law, maybe a local law, but I don't think it's venue specific. It's just probably anything in that area. My guess is subject to the same rules.
Yeah, and that's probably true. I guess the thing is, though, man, any show, especially in summer, you should be allowed to bring in water, period, or at least a reusable water thing that you can
Fuck yes.
fill. Like that's come on, dude. Like it just so that was a bummer. Last but not least, I will say beers were pretty expensive. They weren't 24 ounces. Everywhere you go, beers are going to be expensive. At least like Madison Square Garden, you're paying $4 or $5 more, but you're getting a 24 ouncer. Here, you're paying $4 or $5 more. You're getting 12 ounce or $4 or $5 less, but you're getting 5 ounces or 12 ounces. So it was pretty pricey. The food options before and after were not great. There's not a ton in the casino, and virtually everything closes early. So it's kind of this Mystic, Connecticut area. It's pretty small, man. It's definitely not a metro area, and you really had to plan out kind of when you ate. More so than just like when you're at Madison Square Garden and you can just like stroll out of MSG and get literally any food you want, within walking distance in New York City. So definitely a little bit of a catch there with food. I will say some of the good stuff, Mills. Super small venue for Phish, which is a real rarity these days. Only 10,000 people could fit inside this arena, and there really wasn't a bad seat in the house. I mean, you could make a case maybe behind the stage, but that's anywhere. I thought that everywhere within the arena got really good view. It sounded great. A lot of people made a big deal out of 2019, the only time Phish ever played there, that there was some sound issues like in the two corners. I didn't notice it at all, man. I sat in a couple different spots throughout the 2 night run, and it sounded awesome. So I really like these small, intimate venues for Phish just because it's so hard to get. The stage fit the light rig, which is a concern on some of the stops that Phish make, particularly the smaller venues. They have a very elaborate light rig, fit it no problem. They were basically able to do everything they can do in just about every other arena, minus like the MSGs of the world where they can do the crazy thing on the ceiling with the Jumbotron thing. Again, sounded great. I'm a big fan of inside shows, especially during the summer. Yes, I like being on the lawn and all that, but not waiting till set two for the Sick Light show is awesome. Plus, anywhere we can get air conditioning, super sweet. you could see the stage and make out the band. That's not easy thing for Phish, particularly on summer tour. A lot of people end up on the lawn and you can't even really see the stage. You're looking at like screens on top of the pavilion and stuff. So it was really cool to be able to like see the band and make out what they're doing. It just doesn't happen that often when you go to see Phish because most of their shows are, really big venues and stuff like that. I thought the bathrooms easy to get to. All in all, I really like this venue, dude. I would absolutely do it again. I'm a big poker player, so it was cool to be able to go and hang out and play some poker, go right into the shows. I thought it was cool. I like this area. It was a lot cooler than where I live temperature wise. So it was nice to get a little bit of a break from like high 90s every day with heat index and the, hundreds or whatever it was. It was nice to get a little break there. I would absolutely go back there and see other events. And I would definitely go back. I'll be there the next time Phish plays there for sure.
So that sounds like the JBG seal of approval there. The official Llama Lawyer approval stamp goes on it at good venue. Very nice, like that. And just point out, like a lot of casinos, not great food. And the wee hours of the morning, you almost have to wait around for that breakfast buffet, but it will start before you know it. You just have to stay up, do what you're doing. And how about night one? How did that work? We'll get into night two in a minute. Then you can kind of compare and contrast at the end. What in particular stood out to you? Night one, set list, vibe, seat, whatever.
Yeah, well, let's start. I had great seats, dead center of the stage. And I was so excited because I was like, oh man, I'm going to get all the lights. Everywhere you sit in an arena, you get a different view of the lights, whether it's scanning on the people, whether it's a side view laser show, or whether it's dead on, right? And depending on how high up you are, it's different. So this was something that was really cool. I sat right, section 112 was up just a little bit over where the stage was, but direct center. It was awesome, dude. I really like set one of night one, and the majority of Phish fans out there are going to say set two was better. And this is what's so cool about Phish is it's literally different for everyone, and there's no wrong answer. I love set two, but there was a bunch of like really super long deep jams, which is absolutely killer. But I've grown to really like some balance in my sets, right? Some deep, long, scary jams, that take you in and out, and then getting in a couple more songs that are more fast and upbeat, and maybe instead of 17 minutes, they're 7 or 8. Overall, incredible night. I will say, Mills, that I caught my first Walls of the Cave and my first Julius. It's hard to believe that I've never caught a Julius before, but I didn't. That was the encore. It was awesome. The Walls of the Cave closed set one, and it was absolutely a highlight for me. It was one of my favorite moments. I will say the Kill Devil Falls into Carini second set was a major highlight. I think there's some footage out there of that in YouTube. It was awesome, dude. They're both very, very in-depth jams. They were both long. They were killer. They took you in and out. For a minute, you forgot what song you're in. You came back out and you're like, oh, dude, back in the Carini jam. It was super good. Real highlight for me. A big fan of Gumbo. That stood out to me in the first set, along with a great Gaiuti, and then again that set closer of Walls of the Cave. The energy was super high in there. I was a little bit worried if given the fact that it's a casino, there's no lot, there was travel issues. Would it be light with people? It was filled, but again, small, intimate. There was tons of energy in there. It was a really, really, really good night one.
I enjoy Phish. I'm not, a fan anywhere near to the level of you are. And it's like, all right, I don't know, Julius, I know Kill Devil Falls, and then some of the other stuff you say. Sometimes I really legitimately worry if you're just making it up to mess with me. If you occasionally just throw in fake Phish songs that sound right, and like, because I'll be like, oh yeah, totally. That's I'm sure that's probably a song. Yeah, dude, I'm there with it. How about night two, man? Anything stand out to night two? Do you have different seats, different set list? What night two look like?
Night two was special. I mean, this was really, really, really special. Out of all the shows I've been to, this was definitely a top 10 show for me all time. I mean, I loved it, dude. They were absolutely perfect, on fire. The song placement was just incredible. Great mix of some of their newer songs mixed with their old songs. I mean, it was just straight fire. I was in different seats. I sat on Mike's side, a little bit to the side, and then ended up getting down on the floor for the second set. So got kind of a mix of stuff, which was really cool. I will say that being on Mike's side, this was the first tour in a long time I've heard his vibration. He got a new rig, and you can really feel that bass, dude, which was super cool. Just a couple of highlights here. If you go for folks that go back, if you got the live Phish app and you want to listen to this one, me personally, anytime they open, you get a bag opener and you get that ACDC bag set one opener, if you know you're going to be in for a great show, dude. The bag into curtain was incredible. It was seamless. It was awesome. It was high energy. Then they went into a really neat kind of funky steam where they just unloaded a bunch of steam from the stage, and Page was hitting that crazy, the fateful scream. He's got all those metrics on the keyboard. It was a cool feature there. I really like that. And then maybe my favorite maze I've ever caught, dude. I thought the maze was just best in class. Maze, full disclosure, one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite live songs. The peak of Maze is incredible. This was awesome, dude. The energy in there when it peaked was just wild, super good. Just massive peak. They then kind of played it interesting and slowed it down. Nobody dreams of Farmhouse into Mall. It wasn't that bad. I mean, honestly, you really needed something to slow down from that first four songs of just fire. And Farmhouse really worked. And actually, believe it or not, I think this might have been my first Farmhouse too. So that was pretty cool. And Mull was fun. It was funky. It's one of Mike's songs. It just kind of had a fun vibe to it. And it was a great way to go from the raging high of Maze into the calmness of Farmhouse, this fun, funky Mall to get you right back on track with a really sick Reba. These are huge songs to get all in one set. It doesn't normally happen like that. It just really profound. I will say, Mills, the first time I've caught the Most Events Aren't Planned, which is a Page song, a Page joint, and it was epic, dude. I mean, legendary, kind of nasty. People are talking about that all over. If you haven't heard it, I encourage you guys to go check out that Most Events Aren't Planned set one closer, night two at Mohegan Sun. It was awesome, dude. Like completely sick. Page was just on another level. Really, really, really good set one, Mills. Set two, though, definitely equally as awesome. I want to talk for just a second and nerd out. We got the first time Phish did something, right? So on this day in history, we've got something. When they played in Mohegan Sun in 2019, this is the closest venue to Weekapaug, Rhode Island that they've ever played in. And, they've got this great song called Weekapaug Groove. We're all sharing in the groove. It's an awesome one if you catch it live. Typically, it's sandwiched in with Mike's song and something like an I Am Hydrogen and then Weekapaug Groove. It's like this three-song kind of sandwich, and it's awesome. If you get it, it's great. And when they played here in 2019, they just did Weekapaug as a standalone, as kind of a tip of the old cap to Weekapaug, Rhode Island. This was awesome because when they played AC/DC Bag into Curtain, the curtain width, they left off the slow part of the curtain, which is the width part. And you didn't really notice though, because it went right into steam and you were so fired up from what an awesome opener that was. What was so cool is when they get into set two and they have the Mike song, which was awesome, just great. Instead of going into what you thought was I Am Hydrogen, which usually happens, they went into the width part of the curtain that they let off. They let out of that the first set. They didn't play that part. It was really cool. And they jammed that, and it was slow and awesome and just such a cool kind of in between. And then right into a ripping Weekapaug. I mean, this was awesome. This is definitely out there on YouTube. The band put it out. Go out there and watch it, dude. This is a great three-song set. And the first time actually that they ever have done that combination. Mike's with the groove, dude, is what we're calling it. And it was super awesome. And it's just a nerdy thing. Phish always does super cool stuff like that. I thought the More was fantastic. I'm a big fan of More Mills. Great message there. Vibrating with love and light, all that. It's usually a great set one closer. And the way they had the lights, look where it looked like it was going to be set one closer, and everyone kind of thought it was. And then boom, you get that opening notes of Fluffhead, and they close the set two with Fluffhead, which was a great one. I've gotten Fluffhead a bunch, luckily. And dude, this one was way up there. So super, super special. Encore was massive with First Tube closing it out, and then of course Life Beyond the Dream to open it up. Just filled with love, hope. Everyone was happy, dude. You just get those moments where you look around and you're so happy. You got a permagrin face boner, and you see 10,000 people all super happy in the moment. It's a special thing, man. I don't know how they do it, but they've created a little bit of magic, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, these names again, man. I'm not sure if Fluffhead is like a sex move or a prostitute or a drink. Like, oh, give me a fluff head. That sounds like a drink. And how
It
about
should be.
the best of this here, man? How did night one, night two compare? MVPs, kind of break it down for us. You're a little bit of an award tour here, man. I had a little bit of hardware for the show.
Absolutely. I got to give it to night two. It was so special. People were cheering all the way out, all the way within the casino. It was just a really, really, really good show. I mean, like, great. You people will pick their own for the tour, but I think this one's going to be up there with some of the best of the tour. It was awesome, dude. I got to give it to night two. As good as night one was, night two was literally perfect for me. It was just a fantastic show. Like I said, top 10, for me, and that's rare air. For an MVP of the band, don't get me wrong, all of them are awesome at all times, but I got to give it to Mike. The last couple of tours, I kind of thought he was a little bit muted. You didn't kind of get those big bassy bombs that he's been known to drop. Dude, let me tell you something. His new rig, whatever it is, I think they tested this out at the Sphere or whatever, but he's got like a new rig and a new amp and everything. Dude, you can hear and feel his vibrations. It's really cool because so much of what they do, gets lost in Trey ripping and Paige going nuts on the keyboards and everything. But Mike's a big, big, big part of it, man. And those bass lines were huge. So I got to give him the MVP of this one. For my overall song moment, I got to say the Most Events Aren't Planned was my biggest surprise. Awesome moment, but I got to go with the mics with the groove as my favorite all-time moment. That was just so cool. It's way up there, man. It was between that and the Fluffhead peak, which was just everyone screaming Fluffhead, as the lights turn all white, and and they've built this for like 16 17 minutes where you're waiting for that explosion. You almost can't even take it anymore, and then it releases and it's just pure beauty.
So, what was your favorite cherry popper? What was your favorite first time jam that you got?
It's got to be the Most Events Aren't Planned. I love Julius. I've been listening to that since, God, forever, man. But the Most Events Weren't Planned. It's not something they play often. It's not known as like one of their big power songs or whatever. It absolutely killed, dude. Like they should play it more often. It was awesome.
And was there any one rendition of a song that you're like, oh, this is the best one I've ever heard of this particular jam?
Two things here, Mills. One, this was one of my favorite all-time AC/DC bags. It was really cool. I like mine where they really speed it up during the jam part, which they did. I thought this was great. It was an awesome opener. Place went nuts. But I gotta say, dude, the maze. I've been lucky enough to see Maze a bunch. This was a great maze. Everything from the lights, the way it interacted and countered it and just worked within the jam. It's incredible what Chris Grota does. CK5, dude. I mean, he's been the fifth member of the band here. The way he controls the lights is just absolutely wild with how it goes with the music, especially because they're improving most of it. It's like it's pretty crazy when you think about it. That was an awesome maze, man. Probably like I said, one of the better ones ever.
I'd really love to see a baseball themed Phish cover band named Willie Mays Hayes, but with like Maze spelled like Maze, Maze. I think that'd be a very solid tribute band name. I'm not wrong, right? I feel that's a good
I don't mind it at all. I hope that exists, and I catch him on a local show.
We'll just will it into existence. I think that's about it, man. Is there anything you would kind of like to add and upcoming Phish stuff? What you got for us?
Just one thing, I thought the poster art has been pretty cool so far. The poster art for this show was pretty awesome. It's a horizontal joint. It's pretty cool. I'll maybe take some pictures of it and put it up, but really cool. Snag that. That's going to go on my wall. I get a poster from every show that I go to and been to. I was one, Mills. This never happens. I'm never there early enough. I never have the patience to wait. I was one away from the foil print. So they always release like limited foil print and then the regular one. And the foil print's so cool because it's like rainbowy. It gets all these different colors and stuff. Dude, I was one away from it. And the guy in front of me who at the beginning we were talking, he's like, I'm not a big foil guy. He took the last one, man, of course, and took it off the thing. It was hanging up. He's like, I'll take that one hanging. So I was one away from getting my foil. But that's okay.
Are you saying that you got foiled?
I got foiled. Yes, I
There's
did.
a long way around to set that up, though. But thank you very much. I
Hey,
always
you
like
know what?
getting, put the baseball on the tee. Just let me hit the easy one. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mills, we could call it the squirming foil instead of the squirming
Oh, is there
coil.
a coil? See, I
There's a
understood that
squirming
reference.
coil. It's a squirming
I'm
coil.
full Captain America over here. I'm like, I know that one, man. I know that one. I know a good coil.
But overall, good merch. I will say that they've got some cool stuff this tour. I picked up an awesome hoodie that I'm pretty stoked about, so that was cool. Up next, Mills, they're the couple in my area that I may be checking out. I'm still undecided on Bethel Woods, which is kind of this, Bethel's kind of this legendary place. Obviously, Woodstock and all that. They're doing 3 nights there, and then they're doing their first festival that they've done in years. It's been a long time, so a 4-day festi, Mondegreen, which is happening in Delaware. So I may be at one or both of those. I wish I could go to both. We'll see how it works. Busy guy being the Llama Lawyer and all. Definitely doing Madison Square Garden New Year's Eve, and I believe I will be doing Mexico February 2024. Pretty pumped about that as well.
Which sounds way cooler than yeah, I'm in Delaware. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all right. So that was a Wayne's World reference. And if you like Wayne's World, you probably like the Llama Lawyer, especially if you like Phish, you are in the right place. The Llama Lawyer is presented by Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. Thank you very much for checking us out. Find us wherever you get your pods at Dudes Watch Stuff, right there on the web. Same thing, dudeswatchstuff.com. Don't forget the flaps. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please hit that thumb. Keeps it groovy and shit, or whatever the current lingo is that the Utes use these days. Jamie G, he is the Llama Lawyer. Take us out on a high one, brother.
To boot, to boot. We'll see you next time, right here on the Llama Lawyer.